Okay, Al.
Thanks.
Hold it up.
It's Monday, it's the 16th of February 2014. Where you go?
Sure, guys. Support got a whānau down to check out this land, and it's been an exciting journey. And I've asked Karina just to explain a few things. First of all, our great grandfather Haare Tairei and his wife Eva lived here for how long?
Also known as Eva Tairei, and they lived here. We've gone back to 5 generations upon the land. Our land's here 68 acres that we're standing upon, but overall it's from a bigger reserve of 334 acres, and our other lands consist of, they've been taken by the Public Works Act over the road, and so across the road consisted of our whānau pā, which was known as Ora Kukuru Pā, Te Aho o Tarangi was the wharanui, and the tupuna that was known of these lands. Living here upon the lands were Alice Allen, or she married later Johnny Allen, Auntie Emily, Auntie Alice, Ada, who was my grandmother. We had Cliffy Tairei, who was later adopted or whangaied out to Thompson's. There was Auntie Eva. There was quite a big family. I might have missed some out there, but quite a big family. And Uncle Graham and my mum Nairi, who were raised upon the lands, they were whangaied out at birth to Haare and Eva Tairei. And Uncle Graham fought all the blackberry, whatever, all the growth of the wild bush here, and helped develop the land. They had a mill called Viles Mill here, and there was conceptions in what they called the tunnel of love that they hauled the logs through, and my mum was a result of that tunnel of love.
Wow. So it wasn't for that tunnel you wouldn't be here?
No. And then we found out another auntie was conceived in the tunnel of love, and her name's Margaret, and she lives in Taupo. And we discovered Auntie Margaret through learning our whakapapa at the age of 60 something. So she found she had a family where she thought she had no family. And yeah, so there's big history. So Uncle Graham's son, he went off to join the SAS, fight in Malaya, and he came home to find that there was no land.
Wow.
Yeah.
He would have been gutted, eh?
He was gutted because he fought for country while his home was being taken.
So Karina, you've got basically in 2014, last year was it?
Yep.
Easter, you set up the little whare down there.
Yep.
And we've taken back, we've redeemed the land.
We've redeemed the land, and we now, we've come home. We call it that, and we say it was granted by Creator and our tupuna to bring us home. And for a long time they've worked with us, and for me personally, I didn't know much about Māori life because we raised Pākehā, but in the last 20 years I've been steeped in our Māori culture, and have had to come to learn it, and so pleased that I have, and to see the young ones returning home. That 3 generations we had here yesterday.
Yeah, amazing.
It's such a blessing, because for all the hard work, there's the reward, knowing the young ones want to come back. And learn who they are, because this is what it's about, the generations to come.
So was the land handed down to Haare and Eva?
It was handed down, it came down through their parents, Tairei, Mariata and Kipata, her name was known as, and they were here. A lot of the lands were tribal lands, so in the old days the families who were of the prominent chiefs had their reserves, and that became their lands. Yeah.
So as such, there's no paperwork, it's just the fact that we were here and we possessed the land.
Yeah.
And because there's no paperwork, it's made it a little bit untidy, I suppose.
Yeah, made it untidy because from the Māori way into what we know as the colonised way, it got incorporated into what they call the vested lands. And then as time went on, from Māori land courts, Ātiho Incorporation, who administers a lot of the great portion of the lands here in Raetihi and the surrounding areas. So the lands become vested into their lands. So they were taken away from whānau hapu. So our hapu, which is a whānau, is tawhai ki te rangi. And so these lands were come of that. And our tupuna in the land courts of the time was a man called Timu Mataroa. And well known through the land courts in the time of names like Winiata Te Kākahi, Taipia Tūroa. And Auntie Rose is direct descendant of Winiata Te Kākahi. He goes back to Tohu Kākahi, who was well known for the peace movement with Te Whiti o Rungamaia of Parihaka and Taranaki.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got some really beautiful strong links in our whānau.
So this is awesome. What we're doing here is we're bringing the next generation down the Whanganui River.
Yep.
And we're going to be putting our waka in there tomorrow morning, leaving from Taranui.
Yep.
Auntie Rose, can you tell us a bit about the Whanganui River and also the paths down there, and also the marae, the tiki marae?
The first thing that I will say that we need to, this generation, our today's generation, we need to understand that Māori came here from the beginning of time. There was a spiritual wairua side that we both believe in, that they were drawn here on the waka, the wakas when they came. And in 1840, there was by then there was other people here. And in 1840 there was the signing of the tiriti, not the watered down version that I wrote in my brief of evidence just last year, which I was being flicked all the time because the Waitangi Tribunal, which was a crown system, and Māori was there, but they were cut short. And but I'm a fierce fighter of my ancestors. Taumata Māhoi, he was a fierce fighter for the whenua, for Papakunuku, the protection of Papakunuku, Mother Earth, and Sky God, Ranginui. Yeah. And so from there was my father. My grandfather didn't write. They didn't have the written word, but they, from generation to generation, the kōrero was handed down. And then when it came to my dad, he became the historian because his tupuna was the Crown Commissioner that married my puia from Tagoio in Kahungunu. And from there was born this little white lady that I was told by my koro Andy Anderson. And I said, no, she was Māori. And he said, no, she wasn't. You have a look at your koro. I said, no, he's got tan. So that's the colour for Māori. He said, wait till he takes his top off. And he said, you'll see the white skin. And so I value that side, both sides of me, because I understand that I came off their English Crown Commissioner who married my nan, and then the daughter, Maria Kiore, was born, and she was a fierce fighter alongside of her beloved husband, Taumata Māhoi, which is the huge land that is named after him. And he fought the soldiers, and you come over the Aukati, which is, the Aukati is at Parinui, they'll be there. We will kill you. It was to the point. And it was like that there because of a lot of Māori wars were held there, the tribal wars. And then when other people came, then there was the protection of the thinking of a new generation coming in, is stripping it away from how we value it, that Aotearoa belongs to all of us. Māori's thinking is to share, not get his mind. But sometimes I have to say it like that, no, this is our land, then because that's how the modern generation thinks. Whatever is this is mine, it's all mine, but not in Māori thinking. It is we share. Then we married other nations, and we continue to go through. That's our thinking.
Our hapu name, Whaikitarangi, means to reach for the heavens.
Absolutely.
And our bordering, our other part of us too is from Ngā Potama, which is borders next to us from the family, and that means stairway to heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and our tūpuna that our whare was named on our marae was Te Aho o Te Rangi, again was from the heavens. So in Māori myth and talk that's handed down, we are whānau that descend directly from the heavens. And so that's all kept alive within the name. So one of our aunties that's still alive today, Auntie Piki Ona Mokopuna, came from a lady called Puna Ki Rangi who's buried in the Urupa. So again, those were the springs of the heavens. And so, and as Auntie Rose said, in those days, they spoke the word direct. So it came before.
So I want to come in on that where she spoke about the stairway to heaven. So I'm a weaver and I do taniko, korowais, and but at this age I'm going to open the doors of one of the buildings that I own in Raetihi, which I purchased of the real estate agent, which was called Farmers Trading at the time, and it's a huge mess because craziness came in and I had to walk away. I thought, there's the tribes coming in, I'll walk away, let you do your dash. And then one day I was reminded, hey, that building's yours, you better go and check it out. It's dead, nothing's going on. So all the craziness, crazy people found no left. And so I looked at it and I saw the mess in it, and yet that didn't bother me. What I see is that I can make it open the doors of opportunity, new doors, new direction with modern world thinking for Māori, in touch with my taho white side, and I've got a partner that's coming in. He lives down the south side. I knew his brother when I was young. We were friends. And he set up this program called Wild Food.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so he was the one that did that, and he phoned my nephew, Steve Gray, and he said, can you run that, and so on, because Steve and Ricky Horn, they're both my nephews, and they're going to be my partners in the new direction for the modern world thinking. Steve is really very clever.
Cool.
He comes off my Tairei Raetihi side, and Ricky, well, you've met Ricky, who fed you, and he's such a blue eyes. And the other thing is that with the Unuku people, the eyes is, if I look at you, I can tell you're Unuku and you're my whānau, because of the eyes will change.
Well, hey, just to conclude, because the old battery's running.
Yeah, so
just to conclude, just 1 minute, if you can just wrap it up. If these children come back here with their children and they get dismissed off the land, or someone tries to dismiss them off the land,
One of the quick things for the generations now in the future is briefly, I'll quickly just say, they just recite this: ko ruapehu te maunga, ko mangawhero te awa, ko whaikitarangi te hapu, ko whanau Tairei taku ingoa. So they are telling the people they are from here, they're from the lands, they're from the people, and they have a right through all our generations handed down to be here. And this is their land, this is their turanga waiwai, and this is their home. They belong.
Thank you.
beautiful.
Sweet elk,